Good afternoon, knife nerds. All right, up on the table today we have the TRM Three Rivers Manufacturing Atom. So this is a cool knife with a lot of kind of cult following hype behind it, and very well deserved hype. This thing is freaking awesome. I am pretty impressed with this knife for a lot of reasons. Let's start with some specs and just get that out of the way real quick. Overall length 8 3/16 of an inch, blade length 3.5 inches on the button, and it is a CPM 20 CV blade steel. And one of the standout features that makes these TRM knives so popular is that the scales are completely swappable. And so you can literally get these knives with spare scales and have, options to dress up your knife however you like. So this is a set of micarta scales that came with this knife. And what is actually on it here, these are some kind of wooden scales, I am told. I'm not 100% sure what type of wood it is, but man, this is awesome. And if you look closely, you'll see this milling pattern all throughout the wood, and it just looks super good. We've got a sort of a, starburst type pattern here, and then, we've got these kind of angled grind lines here, and it transitions all the way to the back. And so when you go to swap these scales, the other cool thing is that you do not have to fully disassemble the knife. I'm told that all you do is remove these couple of body screws on each side, right here and right here, and the scales are going to pop off. You don't have to touch the pivot. So if your pivot is Loctited and everything is good to go, no need to mess with it at all to swap scales. You can just kind of change your scales on a whim and, I don't know, match your socks or whatever. So super cool feature there. Not very common, so that kind of stands out to me. These are writing on washers. I'm not sure if they're phosphor bronze. I'll have to look that up in the specs real quick here and see. I do believe they are phosphor bronze. Let me see. These things weigh 3 ounces, man. They're super lightweight. Oh, they're calling this tech wood, so it may not be real wood. I'm not sure on that. But they're saying they have over 30 options, including carbon fiber, G10, G11, micarta, G-carta, and tech wood. And so the liners on this are full titanium, so that's pretty awesome. Let's see if we can get a little light on this situation here. And they're pretty basic liners in there, it looks like, and they are full titanium, so that's pretty awesome. We've got a little standard kind of stop pin right here behind the blade, and then there are 3 standoffs. And interestingly enough, the way that they decorate these standoffs rather than putting a milling pattern in them or something is by wrapping a little colored rubber O-ring around them. So pretty interesting little thing. I suppose you can probably change the color of the O-rings and stuff too for different colors to go with different scales or whatever. And you will also see those little O-rings wrapped around the thumb studs here. Super cool. It is a flat grind and really nice thin blade stock. Very thin blade stock and very slicey, thin behind the edge. Very sharp. I'm not sure if my buddy... no, this is a factory edge. This has not been sharpened by hand, so this is a very sharp edge out of the box. That's great. And the pocket clip, pretty standard bent deep carry clip, and unfortunately the screws are sticking out above the metal of the clip there, so that's a little bit of a snagging point if your pockets are a little bit thicker. So yeah, they could make those screws flush, and that would probably be a little bit better in my opinion. It is easy to access the liner lock. There's nothing in the way preventing you from getting that lock. It's super easy to disengage. and the action feels very hydraulic and smooth. And I'm not sure if this is lubed from the factory or not, but man, it just feels really, really good to me. Can you Spidey flick it? Not really, no. And the reason why is because there's no access part on the rear scale here to get your finger, you know, in the correct place underneath that thumb stud to be able to Spidey flick this. It just doesn't work. And that's unfortunate, because that's definitely a bit of a missed opportunity there, but it's something that they could certainly rectify in future, you know, versions of the knife. I don't think it would take a whole lot to kind of mill something out there just to allow you to be able to get your finger behind that thumb stud. And I assume this hardware is titanium. It certainly looks anodized to me in a bronze color. Very cool looking. Pocket clips, kind of a weird purplish pink. And you know, the knife overall feels extremely thin. Okay, this is it's pretty paper thin throughout the whole profile, except for that deep carry clip. So pretty cool. You know, it's completely comfortable. Ergos are very good. No hot spots. I feel that clip, but it actually, I think the clip actually adds traction in this case, and it doesn't feel bad. It's not a hot spot. There is no finger choil here, but you do have a generous sharpening choil that is really designed correctly so that you're going to be able to sharpen this knife for many, many years to come before you start getting up into the, you know, thicker part of the blade and you have just a bad cutting edge at that point. You've got many, many, many sharpening years on this blade design before you have a problem and need to, you know, replace the knife. So that's good. You know, it's great to see that on a knife. The retail on these, I think, is $195. Starting out point is $195 for the option that you're getting. The options that you're getting here, you know, the quality materials of titanium liner lock and you know, 20 CV. That's a pretty smoking deal, honestly. It's not bad at all. I don't know what the other scale options cost, but I assume they're not all that expensive, so you can, you know, add different colors and materials of scales until your heart is content. This is the box. You know, nothing overly fancy, but it does have a full, you know, foam insert to protect the knife in shipping, and so very good to see that. Made in the USA. That's another big plus. And yeah, so we got the Atom liner lock, OD green canvas micarta, and of course these scales have been swapped from the original OD green micarta here and to this tech wood stuff. And man, I dig the wood look on this. It's pretty dope. And I like the action overall as a whole. You only have one deployment method, thumb flick. That's it. That's all you got. You're not going to Spidey flick this, unfortunately, and there is no flipper tab. So, you know, yeah. But man, what a great utilitarian EDC carry knife from a great USA manufacturer, and nothing but positive things to say about this knife. There's just nothing really that I hate about it. And so me being a pretty picky knife guy, that's, you know, that's saying a lot. Blade centering is very good, very on point. Man, that tip is super dainty for fine work. You definitely don't want to, you know, try and use this as a pry bar for any hard work, because this is super thin out here at the tip. But that's going to give you, you know, a great knife for precision work when you're cutting. You know, if you're bearing down on something and cutting, you're going to use that tip and it's just going to glide right through anything, because it is such a thin, dainty, and sharp, very sharp tip. Yeah, just a phenomenal knife, and I greatly appreciate David sending this in for review to the channel, and I will be getting this back out to him very shortly here. And you know, this is something that, you know, I may consider picking up one day. I'm a frame lock guy, so liner locks I typically don't do, but this is heavy on my radar. You know, after handling it I probably wouldn't have considered it had I not handled it. So it's the kind of thing where it's, you know, you need to handle it to fully understand what's going on here. And yeah, dig that. There is no jimping back here, by the way. No jimping. No big deal though. You know, it's so thin. You get a really good purchase on this knife. It's just not going anywhere. You don't need jimping here. And yeah, phenomenal knife. All right, knife nerds. Until the next time, later.